Good morning, class 9. Today we are going to deal with the last part of the sources and types of pollution. Okay, so today we are going to deal with radiation and noise pollution. Before we understand what radiation pollution is, let's understand what radiation is. Okay, so when there is emission or when there is release of the energy waves, highly charged energy waves, it can be through space or it can also be through a physical or solid object. Then we say those are radiation. Okay, and radiation, we can also say that the release of energy from the atom of the element, and that element can be uranium, can be thorium. And when there is the movement of this energy in invisible waves, then we say that is radiation. So radiation pollution, as it is written in the slide that is shown, is the emission of highly charged particles and electromagnetic waves entering the Earth's atmosphere from the outer space. So when highly charged particles or electromagnetic wave, it is emitted or it is released and it is entering the Earth's surface, then or entering the Earth's surface from the space, then we say that radiation pollution has occurred. So this radiation pollution that we are talking about, it can occur in the nuclear power plant. Okay, so how does it occur in the nuclear power plant is when this radiation creating element, it is being transported or it is been disposed of. At that time nuclear radiation pollution occur. Or when the radioactive element that are there, it is emitted when the nuclear bomb explosion takes place, then we say that radiation pollution has occurred. Not only that, when the nuclear testing and nuclear accidents occur, at that time also nuclear pollution or radiation pollution takes place. Like in the case of Chernobyl, that is in Ukraine in 1996, what happened was because of the accident that took place in the nuclear power plant, many of the people, around about 2 lakh people, had to be relocated and vacated. Not only that, many of the people died because of that accident. And even now, the side effects of the Chernobyl accident can be seen. Radiation pollution, it can be occurring due to various reasons, but amongst all the types of pollution, radiation pollution, it is the most dangerous type of pollution. Like we saw in the case of Chernobyl accident, even after so many years of the accident occurring, there is a long-term effect of this accident. Now let us talk about the sources of radiation pollution. So the sources of the radiation pollution can be natural or it can be man-made. And the man-made source is more prominent where the pollution is concerned. Let's talk about natural source first. The cosmic rays releases the radiation. The cosmic rays or the solar rays, it releases or it emits lots of radioactive radiation, and it is harmful to the living being. Okay, it not only pollutes the water, but it also pollutes the soil and air as well. So we all know that air, water and soil, they are the life supporting system of the earth. So when that is polluted, it endangers the existence of living things on the Earth's surface. The man-made sources are X-rays, nuclear waste, and nuclear fallout. So they are the examples of man-made sources. So let's talk about X-ray. It is very useful for diagnosing diseases by imaging the inner part of the body. Though X-ray, it is very useful because it is a high energy and it can easily penetrate through the tissues of our body and diagnose as to what kind of disease we are suffering from. But still, its indiscriminate and excessive use occurs. Round about 50% of harm is caused to the human body because of the exposure to the X-ray. Not only that, it causes damage to the internal organ, it causes a developmental problem, and it also causes cancer. Okay, that's why it is known as cancerogen. The next source that we are dealing with is the nuclear fallout. So this um, nuclear fallout occurs from the nuclear power plant. Though the nuclear power plant take every possible measure in order to ensure the safety, but sometimes what may happen is the wastewater that has been generated from the nuclear power plant, they have very active or a very active radioactive element in it. So when it is discharged into the water, obviously it pollutes the water. Not only the water, land surface is also polluted. Not only that, the nuclear fallout waste here, it can be generated from the laboratories as well. When the research is being done from there, lots of harmful radiation can also be generated and released into the environment. And when the mining process is taking place, where uranium and thorium is concerned, at that time also unknowingly some amount of release of the nuclear waste can take place. The next one is the nuclear waste. So nuclear waste, where is it generated from? It is generated from nuclear accidents, like in the case of Chernobyl. Not only that, when nuclear bomb explosion takes place, at that time also lots of nuclear waste is generated, like in the case of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. People of this area are still suffering because of the nuclear explosion, nuclear bomb explosion that took place in this area. And the hospitals also are responsible for generating lots of this nuclear waste, like in the case of x-rays. Okay, not only that, the nuclear waste can also be generated from radio tracer, we call it. Okay, some amount of radioactive element, it is used in the medicine, it is used in the industries, in the agriculture. So all this also contributes towards the nuclear waste. Let us now talk about the sound pollution. So any sound that causes annoyance, this is regarded as the noise. So whichever sound that is very unpleasant or unwanted, it is known as the noise. And we say that noise pollution is occurring when any of this unwanted, undesirable sound is adversely affecting the physical as well as mental health of the recipient. Then we say that noise pollution has occurred. And sound and noise pollution is prevalent in the cities and the town. So since cities and towns, we all know it is very noisy. Okay, that's mainly because different kinds of activities are taking place in the cities and the towns, like the aeroplanes are flying, trains are moving, automobiles are there, loudspeakers are blaring, high-pitched music is being played, firecrackers are being burned. Not only that, construction processes are taking place, and industries are also located in the towns and the cities. That's why lots of pollution occurs in the towns and cities. So when we say sound pollution or noise pollution, it not only causes a discomfort, we become very uncomfortable, but it also damages the hearing, or it may cause deafness, and it disturbs the peace of mind, and it creates a very unpleasant and irritating kind of environment. And the person who is exposed to noise pollution or sound pollution for a very long time, he may suffer from various diseases, like the long-term diseases like high blood pressure, ulcer, palpitation, fatigue, headache, vomiting, depression, tension, anxiety, and mental problems. Now let's talk about the sources of noise pollution. So in the cities, the noise pollution, it has become the part of the environment because it's constantly occurring. And the maximum noise pollution, like the blaring of the horns, screeching of the tires of the buses, trucks, landing and taking off of the aeroplanes, this brings about lots of it, is one of the major source of pollution. The second source is in the industries. Okay, noise pollution is caused by machines sawing and drilling, grinding and crushing. So in the factories and the industries, what is happening, very high intensity noise is being generated. That's because of the electrical sawing and drilling that is taking place. Not only that, the machine itself is creating lots of noise. Grinding and the crushing of the machine is taking place. Not only that, the other kinds of activities like the generation of electricity, when the generator is being used, since it is a huge generator, large scale energy is to be generated. That's why lots of noise is created by the generators as well in the industries and the factories. During the time of celebrating any kind of social and religious function, at that time also loudspeakers are played, and then the bands are played, loud music is there, and the bursting of the crackers are there. So this brings about creation of the noise pollution. In mining and construction also, lots of noise pollution is caused, because in mining activities the blasting of the rocks and the earth is there. Not only that, in the construction activities, the welding is there, and then the cutting down of the tiles is there, breaking up of some iron pieces are there. So that also causes lots of noise pollution. This is all for today, girls. So we will be starting with a new chapter in the next presentation. Till then, take care of yourself, and bye bye.